this particular project, we used 3 different types of moss to create this jungle floor. The first is pole moss, which is a very round and dense type of moss. It kind of creates a very kind of globe-like sort of texture. The second was sheet moss. That's a very flat background texture. And then we have mood moss, which is kind of used as a filler, but it really does add kind of the most intriguing of the textures. And when they're used together, it creates a really harmonious atmosphere. Occasionally, we might have to kind of correct some imperfections, but this is all done prior to physically laying out the moss and working on an initial composition. We will lay out what we think is going to work within that particular piece, and then we will mark that and remove all of the moss. Typically, each type of moss is applied in different steps of the process. So our moss artist will lay out our first piece of moss, which is usually pole. As we're securing the moss during production, the moss kind of shrinks because we're really kind of pushing it together to make sure that it's secure. So once all of the pole moss is set, we will take a step back and we'll look and see if we need to add any moss or remove any, and just kind of see how it looks with the individual pieces. Each individual piece is picked out and oriented in a very specific way. So occasionally we will have to kind of rip one out and kind of rearrange or use a different piece of moss. For this particular piece, we left a lot of the detail work to happen on site because we wanted to make sure that the moss pieces themselves were going to fit into the millwork and that we were actually able to secure the plants and the pebbles into the bed before we went and did that detail work. Another thing that we did just to make sure that as kind of the top dressing moved around, we actually wrapped the edge of the moss piece itself with moss, so if a poly pebble moves, it's not going to see kind of the back side of it. It's seamlessly integrated into the planter.